There are facts that sound strange. There are facts that sound unlikely. And then there are facts that sound completely impossible. The kind of stories that feel exaggerated, invented, distorted by the internet. But they are real. Scientifically documented, historically recorded, verified. Today we explore 15 things that sound impossible, but are 100% real. Some of them are terrifying. A lake that can suffocate thousands of people. In 1986, something invisible killed more than 1,700 people in Cameroon. There was no fire, no explosion, no earthquake, just air. Lake Nyos sits above a volcanic chamber. Deep beneath the lake, carbon dioxide slowly accumulates. The gas dissolves into the cold bottom layers of water. Over time, pressure builds. Then one night, the lake erupted, not with lava, but with gas. A massive cloud of carbon dioxide burst from the water. Carbon dioxide is heavier than air. It rolled downhill like an invisible wave. People sleeping in nearby villages suffocated without waking. Animals died in the fields. No one heard it coming. Scientists later named it a limnic eruption, a natural disaster most people never learn about, a lake that can kill silently, and it could happen again, a fungus that controls the minds of ants. In tropical forests, a fungus infects ants, but it does not kill them immediately. First, it takes control. The infected ant leaves its colony, climbs vegetation, positions itself at a specific height, bites into a leaf, and locks its jaws. Then it dies. Days later, a stalk grows from its head. The fungus releases spores. Those spores fall onto ants below, and the cycle continues. This organism is called Ophiocordyceps. It manipulates behavior with chemical signals. It overrides instinct. Nature created biological mind control long before humans imagined it, and researchers are still studying how it works. It has rained animals. From the sky, throughout history, people have reported frogs, fish, and small animals falling from the sky. It sounds mythical, almost biblical, but meteorology explains it. Waterspouts are powerful, rotating columns of air over water. They can lift small animals from lakes or oceans. These creatures become trapped in storm clouds, carried for miles, sometimes hundreds of miles. Eventually, gravity wins, and animals fall with the rain. It is rare, but documented. The sky is not always empty. A man survived a rod through his skull. In 1848, railroad worker Phineas Gage was preparing explosives. A tamping iron sparked prematurely. The explosion launched a metal rod through his face. It entered below his cheekbone, traveled through his brain, exited through the top of his skull. The rod was over a meter long. He survived. He could speak within minutes. He could walk. But something changed. Friends said he was no longer the same person. His personality shifted dramatically. This case became foundational in neuroscience. It demonstrated that specific brain regions influence behavior and personality. A horrifying accident that helped map the human mind. The loudest sound in recorded history. In 1883, Krakatoa erupted. The explosion was so powerful it ruptured eardrums 40 miles away. It was heard over 3,000 miles from its source. The shockwaves circled the planet 4 times. Atmospheric pressure instruments recorded the wave traveling around the Earth repeatedly. It released energy equivalent to thousands of atomic bombs. Entire islands were destroyed. Tsunamis followed, and sunsets around the world turned blood red for months. One eruption changed global weather patterns, and it was heard across oceans. There are people who cannot feel pain. Pain feels terrible, but it protects us. A rare genetic condition called congenital insensitivity to pain prevents individuals from feeling physical pain. They can break bones without realizing it, burn themselves without reacting, suffer internal injuries silently. Children with this condition often injure themselves severely. Some die young because pain never warned them. Without pain, survival becomes much harder. Sometimes what we hate most is what keeps us alive. There is a star. From the dawn of time in 2022, astronomers observed a single star whose light traveled nearly 13 billion years. We see it as it existed shortly after the Big Bang. It is called Arundel. According to earlier models, individual stars at that distance should not be visible, but gravitational lensing magnified its light. Space itself acted like a telescope. We are seeing a star from the earliest chapter of the universe, light that began traveling before Earth even existed. Some people remember almost every day of their lives. A condition called hyperthymesia allows individuals to recall nearly every day they have lived. Ask them about a date from years ago. They will describe what they were doing, what the weather was like, how they felt. Memory without forgetting sounds like a superpower, but it can be overwhelming, reliving every embarrassment, every loss, every painful moment. Forgetting is not a flaw, it is a necessity. An entire city lies perfectly preserved underwater. In China, an ancient city named Shucheng was flooded intentionally in 1959. A dam project submerged it beneath a reservoir. The city remained underwater for decades. When divers rediscovered it, they found temples, archways, carvings, intact, protected from erosion by water. An entire civilization frozen beneath the surface. History hidden just meters below. There is a jellyfish that can reset its life. Turritopsis dohrnii is often called the immortal jellyfish. When injured or stressed, it can revert its cells to an earlier developmental stage. It transforms back into its juvenile form, then grows again. In theory, this process can repeat indefinitely. Biological immortality exists, just not for humans. There was a year without summer. In 1815, Mount Tambora erupted in Indonesia. It was one of the most powerful eruptions in recorded history. Ash and sulfur filled the atmosphere. The following year, 1816, became known as the year without summer. Snow fell in June, crops failed, famine spread across continents, temperatures dropped worldwide. A single eruption altered global climate. Human civilization remains vulnerable to geological forces. Whales once swam where there is now desert. The Sahara Desert was once covered by ocean. Fossils of whales have been found in Egyptian desert sands. The region known as Wadi al-Hitan contains ancient marine skeletons. Over millions of years, climate shifts transformed ocean into desert. Ecosystems vanished. New ones emerged. The Earth is not static. It is constantly reshaping itself. A man lived with most of his brain compressed. In 2007, doctors in France discovered a man whose skull was largely filled with fluid. Severe hydrocephalus had compressed his brain into a thin layer. Yet he worked, had children, lived independently. His IQ was slightly below average, but he functioned. This case challenged assumptions about brain volume and consciousness. Perhaps intelligence depends more on organization than size. There is a bacteria that can survive in space. Deinococcus radiodurans can withstand extreme radiation, vacuum, dehydration. Scientists exposed it to outer space. It survived. Life may be far more resilient than we assume, perhaps even beyond Earth. Most of the universe is made of something we cannot explain. The universe is expanding, not just expanding, accelerating. Something called dark energy is driving this expansion. We do not know what dark energy is. It makes up roughly 70% of the universe. Dark matter makes up even more. Ordinary matter, everything we see, is only a small fraction. Most of reality is invisible, unknown, unexplained. 15 facts, each one documented, each one real, each one challenging the limits of intuition. Reality is not simple. It is not comfortable. It is not always predictable. The deeper we investigate, the stranger it becomes. Sometimes science removes illusion. Sometimes it reveals deeper mystery. The world is not less magical because it is explained. It is more astonishing. And that is oddly true.